Hi, you're listening to an Adventures in Middle-earth actual play using Fantasy Grounds. You can find session summaries, items and characters on Obsidian Portal, where our campaign is called In the Shadow of the Mountains. Last episode, the party travelled to the Elf Road of Mirkwood, where they met some dwarves being attacked by goblins. After the battle, they played riddles and smoke rings whilst feeding on a pig, before settling down for the night.
Okay, I will. If you remember what happened at the end of last session.
Oh, I need to go into Obsidian Portal and have a look at the write-up.
Yeah, you had a very hectic day where you encountered 3 dwarves who were being attacked by some lowly goblin orcs, probably from Mirkwood, and you managed to fight them off and help the dwarves, and they shared a fire with you and a
suspicious pig and
beautiful beer, some ale, played some smoke rings, all manner of stuff. Fun was had by all.
Riddles. I seem to remember there's riddles as well. We did the full.
And now you were
Lord of the Rings
sitting
experience.
around the campfire, bit of a buzz on from the beer, and waiting to go to sleep.
Are the dwarves? Well, are people sitting up and still just winding down in terms of chat and doing stuff, or are people in their bedrolls and frantically trying to get to sleep with pillows over their head?
Yeah, I mean, some Snorri's already snoring, and people are basically just around the fire in bedrolls with blankets over their shoulders and trying to get their heads down now. Do you want to put a watch up or anything?
Yeah,
like
I think we decided last time we were going to still have a watch up rather than get too confident.
Yeah, definitely.
No problem. So your watch order, I haven't set yet, but I can do. What's your preferences for which order you set that in? Currently, it's alphabetical.
Well, if you ever actually have done guard duties in real life, you always want to do the first or the last one, never the middle one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want the midnight till 3 a.m. shift.
Well, Hathis is happy to go first because it takes him a little while to go to sleep anyway, so he will quite happily sit and ruminate with a pipe. No, just ruminate with his own thoughts on the day's events, etc. So Hathis is happy to go first.
Okay, I'd stick Amalfrida second. And
well, Monin will do the depth of the night if you like, because he's got night vision.
No problem. I'll put Sigma on the pre-breakfast shift. No problem. All right.
Oh, uh-oh.
Oh, exactly.
Oh, God.
There's shadow.
What is happening here? Okay. So, Hathis, you... it's pretty uneventful. Yes. All the dwarves will sleep. It's quiet. You've picked a fairly nice spot. You're out of the wind. You keep the fire banked up, and after 2.5 hours, you shake Amalfrida awake, and Monin. Sometime, it seems like you've just got to sleep. You're woken up by Amalfrida, shakes your shoulder, and then just goes straight back down to sleep. Looks like she may have dozed off, but nothing's encountered, and you have a very easy time of it as well. You're through till around 3:30, you would guess, and then shakes Sigmar awake. He's a bit grumpy, sits with his back to the fire, and then just before you doze back off to sleep, Onin, he sticks some more logs on and banks it up a bit. As it's around getting to dawn, can I ask you all to give me a deception check in the tower? You both wake up to a gruff, "Stay where you are!" And you are shaken awake pretty roughly by a villager. Never met them before, and you immediately think about going for your weapons. There are villagers surrounding your camp. They look like woodmen by their dress, and Hathis, you would know that.
Mm-hmm.
But they are gruffly shaking you all awake. It looks like Sigmar dozed off during his watch. Dwarves are looking a bit worried. They've all kind of backed off as of you a bit as you're waking up, away from these villagers. There's probably about 8-9 of them. They've got some spears, some pitchforks. One's got a rusty old sword. They're looking fairly menacing. Do you want to do anything, or just kind of wait to see what they're saying at the moment?
Try and sit up and just say, what's going on? Who are you? What's going on?
You come with us.
Can you tell
Someone
us
stole our pig.
Ah. Okay. Yeah. Yep.
And it was you, look, wasn't it? Look. And they point to the fire and the half a pig carcass that's cooling next to it. It's you kind of
burp.
Exactly.
We did eat your pig. That solves a mystery for us.
Because you admitted to it, thieves.
I didn't. No,
we didn't take it.
I didn't thieve your pig.
I think you need to talk to these 3 dwarves over there.
Aye, those lot over there, they stole your pig. I ate your pig. I didn't know it was yours, though. They gave it to us.
You're all guilty of this. Snorri shakes his head and puts his head in his hands. Stay your hands. We've wronged these people. Sorry, I've wronged these people. Take us with you.
I look disgusted at his potential crimes.
His honesty.
No, I don't mind his honesty.
Hold on a second. Can't we come to some kind of arrangement? How can we replace the pig with coin?
There's a bit of a whispering going on between 2 of them, more middle-aged, we say, folk there.
It's just that you know that
Gailavira will know what to do with you.
Well, the dwarves can be very vengeful people, but they can be very fair people. So we can come to some kind of arrangement.
Absolutely.
Come with us.
Okay.
Our village is only a short walk away from here.
Can we pack up our stuff and bring our stuff?
There's more whispering goes on between 2 guys. There's some nodding. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
And you hear some whispering of, you shouldn't have eaten our pig. That was our pig. Stuff like that going on.
Okay. Well, appears to be a lot of a misunderstanding, but I'll start packing my stuff up quickly, and we'll pack our stuff up, and I presume we'll just go with them.
Have we got our weapons?
Here. That was our pig. You ate it.
Have you got weapons to hand?
Weapons hot.
You have. They look like they're not warriors, but they're prepared to stick you with something sharp and pointy if push comes to shove, and they really look like they just want you to get up and move ahead of them and go where you want.
If they've had a pig rustled, then that's a loss, isn't it? So I'm sure we can clear this up.
Aye. So we do have our weapons then. So if you want, I mean, I'm not going to draw it, but okay, that's fine. I'll just keep a weapons sheet.
Yeah, they all look fairly askance, particularly Monin and Amalfrida, and the size of the weapons you guys carry and how well maintained they are.
How far are we away from these? Well, not that it matters. No, forget that. I was going to say how far away from these dead orcs and goblins so we can show them what we've done, but that's irrelevant with the pig situation.
Yeah, you were a few hundred yards away. I mean, they camped fairly close by, but not that close.
No, we'll go with
all right. I mean, you are pushed a little, but they kind of, you can sense they push you and then kind of almost like jog backwards a bit. So they're looking like they're being carved, but not really. They all look pretty dirty, tired, hungry, fairly impoverished, but you would probably say on the poorer end of the woodman's spectrum, hatters from what you see, but not that unusual. And after about an hour, it's not much longer than an hour's walk, you move into a small settlement with a palisade around it. I'll just give you an image of that. It's a grey old day. It's not nighttime anymore. I'll give you a bit of daytime music.
Cozy place.
Yeah, it's not quite as sunny sounding as that, but it's very much edge of the woods. The forest's probably no more than 5-10 miles away. It's a small woodman settlement, but it looks fairly well defended, but not brilliantly defended. The palisade looks like it's seen better days, and it's much, much smaller than Woodman Town, where you came from. You'd say there's probably no more than a score, maybe 2 score of inhabitants in the whole place. So as you come into the village, they kind of move you into a longish building, and they shuffle you forwards. They open a door, looks like it's barred on the outside, and say, "Go on, in you go. Gailavira will see you soon, but we don't want any trouble. You go in there until we're ready."
As we are walking through the village, Mona just want to have a look around and see, are there many pigs in the village? I mean, have they got quite a few? Does this look like it's a rare commodity?
Not many. I mean, they literally would probably have a couple of cows, quite a few chickens, maybe a pen with 2 or 3 pigs in, but it's not a wealthy village by any stretch of the imagination.
Okay, fair enough.
Hathis, could you, as you've arrived at a settlement, give me an arrival roll in the... There, you can do it in the open.
Which type?
D4.
D4.
It's just a, yeah. This is a cut down arrival.
It's a 1.
Okay. So in spite of last night's festivities, journey has taken its toll on the spirits of the company. Memories of any good fortune you may have experienced along the way now seems distant and intangible.
Bloody hell, we're in a pickle.
And you feel just weary to your bones, and pretty despondent.
Sleep. Yeah. We're accused of crime. It's just, it's gone bad to worse.
So the farmstead looks pretty poorly maintained. Palisade, as you kind of are taken through the little settlement, is in need of repair in several places, with whole section down in one place. You'd more probably normally expect to see, especially this time of year, smoke coming out from every hole in the settlement, but only a few seem to even have fires burning there. And the people are pretty drawn, tired and hungry that you're passing, and they look fairly scared of you. You're pushed into an empty building on the left, and it's got a fairly rotten, rust-strewn floor over dirt. And you hear the bar go down on the door outside. Snorri looks up and looks really concerned, and you can tell him and Hara speaking, conferring together and shaking their head, and it was, then they come over and speak up out loud to you guys. We knew we shouldn't have really taken that. We knew it couldn't have been just a wild pig. It was staked out in the woods, and we just thought maybe someone had just left it there. So we were hungry, and I know we shouldn't have done it. Maybe should have found out, but it was best we could do at the time. What do you think they'll do with us?
You shouldn't be trying to convince us. You'll have to convince them. Just make sure you make sure that there's no guilt in the matter for us. I think we asked you about that pig as well, didn't we?
Mm-hmm. They said they caught it in a snare.
Yeah, so Har goes a bit red when he remembers that. That was him who spoke about that. They look down at their boots, shuffle around a bit.
What's done's done. We need to come to some kind of arrangement. Do yous have coin?
They look around a little. I'm not sure that will be enough. They want food, I think.
Right, well, we'll have to see. Maybe we can hunt some food up for them.
Maybe.
What did you say was staked out in the forest?
Yeah, no more than probably about halfway between where we camped last night and where we are now. I didn't know there was a village here.
Why would you stake a domestic pig out in the forest? Act as a bait for some creature? But they'd have been waiting or watching, you'd have thought, and would have seen you taking it. So strange. Well, this is just staked to forage because there's not enough food.
You have a good mind on you, Hathis.
I'm not covered in armour.
Armour addles your brain.
I don't mean that. I mean, I haven't got any protection apart from what's inside my little skull.
Oh, it's a good
So
defense.
after maybe quarter of the morning goes by, an hour or two, no more than that, a young man, probably no more than a late teenager, a little bit younger maybe than Amalfrida, comes up, opens the bar, and he brings in some water and bread. He leaves it kind of it's on like a wooden tray he puts by the door, not getting close enough to be
Jumped
by you. He seems pretty frightened of you, and he says as he backs off, "Are you in league with Greymuzzle Hob?" And then
With who? Greymuzzle Hob.
Oh, Greymuzzle Hob, and then he starts backing off, and then he like bricks it and runs, and then he comes running back and quickly slams the door, and then puts the bar back over.
Have I heard of Greymuzzle Hob?
Give me, because you're relatively local, give me a knowledge history check in the tower. Or I think it's history.
Yeah, I can do history. It's just some things are it's like in Norfolk, you say, you working with the Black Shuck. Most people have heard of that. But if it's John Perkins, then no.
No idea about Greymuzzle Hob. Even the Darkness wrote a song called Black Shuck, so very famous in East Anglia. So there was an older middle-aged man you noticed standing out of your eye line as you kind of walked and saw the door slam, who had an old spear pointed at you. It didn't look like he was that willing to use it. So a little bit of the morning goes on. The dwarves are really regretful and say, "Look, I don't know what we can say, but can you help us if they? I don't know what they'll do, but I guess we'll try and talk our way out of it." Or Rory relates a story of how they found the pig while you're waiting. So he actually thought initially it was caught in some sort of hunter's trap. And he basically said, I kind of knew that stealing that would have been crime enough, but we were really hungry. We haven't eaten properly for a long time. And we quickly dispatched it and that was it. Pork for dinner, and it was really tasty. And then he shakes his head again. I know it was bad, but...
Well, look, you didn't...
There was no one around.
You didn't go in to their village. You didn't steal it from... It was out in the open. So, you're hungry. There's no shame in that.
And it's only, it's someone's livelihood, but you didn't kill anyone, presumably. You didn't steal someone's valuables or artifacts, possessions, etc. So it is only a pig. I'm sure their justice will be fair and swift. I'll say that with a slight twinkle to my eye.
I think it's like his eyes open a bit wide, and then...
And we're heading towards Erebor anyway, so any remains we can take back with us. I'll slap him on the back at that point and just say, "I'm only teasing you."
You're not given any more food and water, so you have to make use of your own during the day. And you notice it's getting... Sorry,
Hathis, I think you're onto something as well. Maybe they were staking it out, that kind of thing. So maybe that's an angle they want us to work. Maybe this whatever grey muzzle person, we have to do something about that.
That's my guess, because I think this little hamlet, I think it's called Rowanhold, but I'm not sure. I didn't quite catch the name tag on the way in. It looks a bit run down and not every house is occupied. It doesn't seem... Greymuzzle Hob doesn't seem particularly lively, so I think it's under a shadow of one sort or another.
Right, okay. We'll see what they have to say then.
Okay, so are you doing anything while you're just waiting for them to kind of come back and deal with you, or otherwise I'll kind of forward onto that?
Well, if the little boy comes round, or if I can see him through any cracks in the bit, I'll try and bring him over and try and talk to him and try and find some more stuff out about Greymuzzle Hob.
All right, give me a perception check in the tower, Monin. Yeah, as you're kind of looking outside, you see probably a middle-aged, fairly stern, grey-haired woman talking, and you manage to overhear snippets of conversation between them. They're over in the next building, which does have some smoke coming out of it, and it's larger than the others. And seem to be talking about basically another pig, and taking it back out to the woods, from what you can kind of hear, which does strike you as a bit suspicious.
Yeah, he'll relay this on to everybody else who's here.
Okay, so afternoon gradually starts going towards twilight and dusk beginning to fall. And you basically found a fairly easy place to look through a crack in the wall. You see a group of poor-looking men and women come up to your empty longhouse that you're in, and they've got a selection of rushed torches, some spears, and some sort of basically sharp farming implements. Nothing that would be anywhere close to a weapon. And you hear the bar open again. Doors are opened. Torchlight starts flooding in, and they tell you that you were to stand before Gailavira and explain your actions.
Okay.
And you're taken just across the dirt track opposite to the largest longhouse, which does have some smoke coming in. And it looks like the whole village has turned out, women, men, and children. Longhouse is about probably 40, 50 feet long, about 20 feet wide. All of the villagers are up and down either side, and there's probably less than you probably thought. There's probably no more than about a score of them. And you are taken up to the front of the building. It looks like a couple of boxes have been put there, and there's a woman who you saw earlier, grey-haired, middle-aged lady, sitting on a plain wooden seat up the front. That's the lady that's sitting on the dais up front. So as you're brought up there, you're kind of, they look a bit more confident as all of them around. It's smoky. You're kind of pushed it up in front of the dais of the old boxes up there. And that's where the hearth is as well. There's a hearth. Basically, it doesn't even have much of a chimney. It's an open hole in the roof. The smoke's going out. Furs are laid over the chair she's sitting on, and she looks like a very proud woman. She's got her chin up. She's meeting you all in the eye. The clothes, one, are not fine looking to the eyes of maybe a dwarf, someone like you, Monin, but they look impressive enough to a woman. There's some furs, and there's also some fabrics dyed a deep red or orange, edged with some woven designs around the edges, and that's more than just normal woodman clothing. And she even has a trimmed fur cloak on, and a silver brooch on her shoulder. So she looks like a head woman you would suspect. And she speaks in a clear, very, very well enunciated voice in Westron. And you actually, all of you look at her, and her piercing grey eyes are pretty hard to look at for that long. This is a woman who's seen a lot and lived to tell the tale. So she speaks clearly, looks at you all one in turn, and says, "Who are you to come here and steal our pig? You will tell me your names and intentions here in our lands. And if I do not like what you have to say, I shall keep your swords here and cast you out without them. Make me angry, and I will keep you here too. Now, speak."
Monin, son of Donan, at your service.
He nods and then looks along the line. The dwarves all the dwarves are put together. They obviously assumed you were travelling with them, Monin. Snorri, Har, and his colleague, whose name currently escapes me, Borri, all introduce themselves and then look up at you, Hathas.
I'm Brother Hathas. I'm from, insert the name of village here near Roscabel. I was trying to frantically look at my couch sheet for where the name of the village I'm from. Traitors Hill, I think it was. So I'm from Traitors Hill. And I'm travelling colleagues of, and I will point specifically to the people I'm travelling with. So Amalfrida, Sigmar, and with Monin, and say, these three dwarves here, we only met them yesterday evening in interesting circumstances.
So she nods a little bit more appreciatively. You look like more of a local to her. Amalfrida introduces herself very curtly. Amalfrida, from near the Carrack, and she looks at her as well and nods. and then turns to Sigmar. Sigmar looks up, and Sigmar from east of the woods, doesn't introduce the city or town, and just leaves it at that. So she looks at you all and says, "So, who's gonna speak for you all?"
I can't
I'm
speak
happy
for
to.
all. I can. Well, Arthas, you're good with words. You speak because she did say she didn't want to be angered.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So I will be okay. So my lady, my colleagues and I'll again specifically point to the people I was travelling with, and not point to the three dwarves. We are travelling on our way to Dale to answer the call, which I'm sure you must be aware of. That's gone out to people to help rebuild around the Long Lake area. And we are travelling along this route, deliberating in our minds whether to go the old forest road or north along the Grey Mountain Narrows. And yesterday afternoon, we heard shouts and terrified screams and ran to rescue whoever may be in trouble, as we are wont to do, and found these three dwarves here. And I'll point to whatever they're called, Nori and Bori, Sorry and Bori, or whatever, Snorri and Bori. I found them being sore pressed by orcs and goblins. We rushed to their aid, and Amalfreda here was nearly killed, but we managed to salve her wounds and heal her as best we can. We rescued these three dwarves, and they were so thankful they offered us some beer, which we enjoyed with them, and a pig. The pig was a domestic pig rather than a wild pig, and we said to them, "This is a nice pig, where did you get this from?" And they told us they caught it in a snare. We didn't want to call them liars, and so we assumed they were telling us the truth, as you would do with fellow travellers on the road, especially those that have just saved your life. And then we had an evening of riddles and smoke ring blowing, and everything was congenial and nice. And we went to sleep. And the next thing we know, we are woken by your fellow villagers who are righteously angry at what has befallen them. And our colleagues here, I think, have another tale to tell. And I will sort of introduce the dwarfs to that point of, "Come on, you snivelling bastards, tell them what happened."
And so Snorri, the white-haired dwarf, steps forward and says, "It's true what he says. We didn't see anyone near the pig. We thought it was originally caught in a snare, and then we choose to ignore the fact it was just staked out in the woods. But we took it. We all ate it. We're sorry. Are you taking joint responsibility for as you share the eating of the pig, or are you blaming the dwarves, basically?"
Well, we ate what they gave us in good faith, because they told us when we questioned it that it was a pig they had caught fair and square. So yes, of course we ate it. We're not denying that fact, but we were misled into, and tricked, if you like, into accepting their hospitality and gift, led to believe it was theirs to give.
Now, my friend here speaks with good, eloquent words, but I'll put something a bit more plain to you. Gailavira, have you never had an empty belly in your life?
She looks at you, and of course we have.
So, if you saw a pig with no one beside it, staked out in the middle of the forest, and you were starving nearly, what would you have done? Can you blame these dwarves? Now, we can come to some kind of arrangement, but I think if you were in their shoes, you might have done something similar.
She whispers to an elderly guy next to her, and then he basically kind of whisper back and continue. What do you suggest then?
Well, a wee bollocks came in earlier, and he said, "Were we with somebody? Hobber?
Greymuzzle
Greymuzzle Hob." That was it,
you
Hathis.
mentioned.
So, I'm just thinking here, you're staking out a pig, and I heard some old crone there earlier talking about putting another pig out there. So, what you's up to? Don't you want some help?
You could ask why you staked the pig in the forest. Maybe it was to attract some creatures, and lo and behold, you did indeed attract some creatures with your staked pig. It may not be the creature you were hoping to attract, but presumably you didn't exactly target it to a specific creature of the forest, so your pig worked.
You see her eyes. You see her eyes kind of narrow a little bit at the mention of Greymuzzle Hob and your astute insight into why it could have been staked out. And she then whispers again to the old man and said, "What do you know of Greymuzzle Hob?"
Precisely nothing. We heard one of your youths mention it to us as he gave us our bread and water this morning, the last meal we've had. He said, "Are you working with Greymuzzle Hob?" And then he ran away very scared and remembered to lock the door after him some seconds later. Other than that, we've never heard of, met, or know anything of Greymuzzle Hob. And I'll look at my colleagues for nods of, yeah, you're right there. Just...
He speaks the truth. I give you my dwarven word. I've never heard of this person before.
Well, he's not a person, or he's the biggest threat to our village. In fact, the lives of everyone here. We're doing everything we can to prevent him attacking us.
So you mean
Greymuzzle Hob he's a warg.
All right.
Ooh.
Nasty
We've seen
things
him in
then?
the woods. Yeah, he's killed 2 villagers in the last probably 3 months.
Well, there's their bargain there. Now, I can't speak for these dwarves. It looks like they've been through quite a lot. But I'm sure that we could, if we got rid of this warg for you, what reward would you give us?
He shakes her head and ignores you. Do you have anything else to say? She didn't like that at all.
See, Mona's trying to come in rather than low.
This got a feel of a very basic trial, in inverted commas. You're being questioned to find out your motives and what you were doing. She kind of warmed a little bit to Hathis. She did not like the talk of paying you to do something she thinks her feelings are that you guys owe her right now rather than the other way around. And she looks a very proud woman.
Mona's looking towards Hathis.
May I be as bold to ask, Gailavira, what you were hoping to achieve with the pig tethered in the woods yesterday? If Greymuzzle Hob had taken it, for example, were you hoping that would just buy you some time while he was sated by that pig, or was there a bigger plan to try and do something more positive about Greymuzzle Hob?
We just want to keep it away from the village, and we thought that he would leave us alone if we feed him. So give me a skill check. 4 probably would be the most useful.
In the tower?
Yeah. Oh, okay, that's fine. So, Hathis, you know that wargs, you've not seen one, fortunately, but you know that they're intelligent, actually, and can speak. So, many of them can. So, assume they're like average commoner intelligence. They're not wolf-like at all. They're far, far more dangerous than that. So, her hope that basically just feeding this simple animal and it would leave them alone may or may not be good strategy.
And how long have you been feeding this warg for? Was this your first pig, or was this a successful ongoing strategy that has bought you some time?
First time.
So we don't even know it's something
for a couple of weeks.
Something as cunning and intelligent and as formidable as a warg would even be bought off, in inverted commas, by a simple pig when he knows there's villages nearby. If you say he's taken a couple of villages already, and did he take them from the village, or did he take them from particular parts of the forest? Or there's such a big story here, Gailavira. We could do with knowing it all from the beginning to end if we were to help you. And I think I speak for my colleagues, and we are very much predisposed to helping you. But we need to know the full story, I guess.
she takes a bit of a breath and almost chokes up. You can see, you could have sworn maybe there's a glint in her eye that wasn't there earlier. And she says, well, a few months ago, we first saw note of this, and it was just very large paw prints around some of the woodland trails that we go nearby. We went to thinking it was a wolf. My sons actually initially went out to explore and investigate, and they were and she's like chokes up a bit at this. They were the two that got killed.
I'm so sorry.
They were attacked at night, and she held her head up again and trying to defend the village. And they were the best warriors we had. So we realized that we probably couldn't defend against them. And she kind of looks across at all the dwarves, your armor, particularly yours, Monin, and said, we just don't have the same level of weaponry that looks like you all carry. And she's like shakes her head and wipes a tear away.
Mona's just staring at her. How about this? How about you pay us a pig, and then that's it, everything done. If we can give her this trouble, this thing that's killed your kin, we'll avenge ye.
We can't afford to give up any more of our food.
I think you've, in effect,
Not harvest yet.
I think Monin's saying you've prepaid us collectively.
Oh, I see.
That's what I'm saying. You pay us that. That's the deal done.
And you'll help with get rid of the damn warg.
Look, I would not be able to sleep thinking I've left a village with one of these fell creatures around without at least trying to help you.
Absolutely.
Okay. So what I'd like you to do, Hathis, is give me a...
Why look at that, John? Bowden stares at Gailavira. And hold your chin up there, lass. Your kin are dead, but it's not the end of the journey. They'll be in Mandos now. We've all got to die sometime. I'll die soon enough. But it's not the end. They're maybe in a happier place.
She looks at you and kind of cocks her head a little bit, as if she can't believe she hears wise words coming from the mouth,
potty mouth of the dwarf.
So nicely done.
You'll see him again, lass.
Okay, so what I would like you to do, Hathis, give me a check. Do you want you to give?
Shadow law.
An intelligence traditions check at +5 modifier in addition to what you've got, which is probably quite decent. And you can roll that in the open if you want.
29.
Okay. Nicely done, I think would be the phrase there.
You suck. You didn't even get 30.
So congratulations. You picked exactly the right person to speak with her. She's feels a good deal of affinity to a fellow woman, and you've sounded very coherent and intelligent. And she says, well, your offer is fair. That pig ain't coming alive. And she smiles a little bit. We got half a pig to eat tonight. And then she says, don't know what else to do, but any help you can give us to, and it looks like you're all much more knowledgeable about martial affairs since my son's died than we have in the village. Any help you can give us to defend the village or help us with ideas on strengthening our defenses would be very welcome. And you'll always have Rowanhold as a warm beds and hearths in the village for you if you ever travel in this way again.
Fantastic. That's very generous. Thank you.
And then, so she feels. You get a sense that she's quite relieved at your contrition, and the dwarves look mightily relieved at your contrition. So they're all kind of visibly relaxed. She claps her hands and starts ordering basically some of the older women in the group to go and get whatever meager food they have, and says, "We don't have a lot, but we have some here. Will you join us for a meal? We always eat in the longhouse of an evening, and would have you join us."
Do I think it's politic for us to say yes? Or do
Very
I
much
think
so.
we're
Yeah,
taking,
you know that
we're
kind
taking
of.
their last food and it would be wrong
So
of
long
us?
as you had things you could share as well, but basically it seen very strongly as they're embracing you in their
In which
households, no
case,
matter how little that they have.
definitely. We'll definitely do it then.
Okay.
So, did Hathis find out? So I've forgotten already. Sorry, but so I can remember. Did they have a pig before that's been eaten by the warg in this place, or is this the first time they've tried
I
it?
think she said this was pig number one.
That was the first one they staked out. Yeah.
Some dwarfs to get to.
Wasn't the best of plans anyway. You know, if you feed a rat, you got to get several rats, not a friendly rat going. Okay, I'll go on. I'll not come back here again.
That's perfect. They only had like 4 pigs, so that would last maybe 3 or 4 weeks, and then, or probably 3 or 4 days, and then it would be okay. There's no pigs left. What do I get now? So yeah. All right.
Yeah,
so sorry, go on, mate.
No, so that's fine. Like tonight will be a good chance for us to maybe gossip and find out if there's anybody, any trackers around, and any more information about this thing. Anyway.
And also, if we could find out whether the old elf path the elf path through Mirkwood is considered safe, as our 3 little dwarf friends said, and the old lady back at wherever it was said, or whether these guys who live nearer think the elf path is crazy dangerous. Don't do it.
Okay. Well, as you are, so most of the village have scattered to get food, and you're digging in your packs and stuff. They didn't take anything from you. Gailavira goes out, so she looks like she's going to be collecting something as well. And there's only a couple of younger kids who seem fascinated by all of your armor and stuff. Dwarves are stoking up the fire. Everyone give me a perception in the tower. Okay, both of you. So suddenly you hear a shout going up outside the hall, and there's sounds of commotion and running feet beyond, and the 2 kids look around, the dwarves look around, suddenly all nervous, and then comes a terrible crunching sound of broken timber.
Oops.
And a baleful roaring howl that fills the air.
Where's
chilling marrow deep.
Right.
And a voice speaks from the darkness outside. Gailavira, I am hungry now, and your scrawny pig will not satisfy me. Send out your children, Gailavira. Send out your bravest sons, so I may kill them too and drink their hot blood. Send out your suckling babes and their mewling mothers, so I may eat my fill. Send them out, or you'll all die. And you hear this mass panic outside. People are running. You hear doors slamming. All sorts of things there, and you just feel the cold chill go down your spine. And I would like everyone to roll initiative, please.
Is that in it on the main tab?
Yep.
Yeah, it is.
Good man.
Okay, I will. What I'll do is I'll free up until Neil joins. If I free up the other PCs, I don't like doing this, but could I ask you to take ownership of one, so you're just playing 2 characters each just for this combat, and then we just go back to you afterwards. So grab whoever you want. If Neil joins, that's great. We'll only have to do that with 1.
I snagged them with Frida.
Yeah, I'll take Sigmar the Trickster then. How do we take them, John?
So
Gotcha.
go into the
Click on the
PCs.
PC. Yeah. Gotcha.
There, it's available. So I'll assume you're with your dog. You all basically were just around this half area. I won't bother putting the NPCs on. They all kind of cower towards that dais with the thing on the back. And immediately inside the light spilling out from the doorway.
Hi, Neil.
Hello.
Hey, Neil. Welcome.
Can you hear me?
Perfect timing, Neil. It's all about to kick off. So.
It's about to, the shit's literally hit the fan. So you're pretty much left alone with a couple of kids and the dwarves who've scuttled to the back of the long hall that you were questioning. I'll share that with you as well now, Neil. And can you see that, Neil?
See what?
The map of the hall.
Yeah.
You can, great. And I just asked you to roll for initiative. So just outside the door, in the light of the firelight that's just spilling out into the darkness.
Oh, there he is.
You see this huge warg that's there. So Sigmar, could you give me an initiative roll? And Steve, could you also roll for Amalfrida? See who acts first. Okay, so Amalfrida's first to react. So you've basically just got, you were cooped up all day, but you didn't change. You've got your armor, weapons and stuff with hand. They didn't take those from you, and you've got everything you really need to attack these things.
Have we had a short rest since presumably the fight with the orcs, and does that matter? We've had a whole day sitting just chatting in a longhouse doing nothing. So most of a night's sleep.
Great point. So I will apply a short rest before you guys start.
My healing, for example, replenishes when I take a short rest, so it'd be good to get that recharged. I anticipate it may be required.
Let me give you guys all a short rest. If you want to use a healing dice, particularly for Amalfrida, Steve, you can do. Monin's a little bit injured, but not that badly. So Amalfrida, what do you want to do? It's your action. You've just seen this massive Greymuzzle Hob. I'll give you a bit of description if you want. It's about the size of a horse, this thing is. It is not a small at all. It's a horrific reek. Coat is matted and slick with old blood, and it's browning. It smells of the grave more than anything else, and it's got bright burning red eyes that are reflecting the firelight. And it's got almost like a sneer on a wolf's face as it's padding up to the door.
Okay, so I do want a meta game here. So does anybody know in our party that wargs are probably frightened of fire? I know wolves are, but maybe wargs are more ghostly, aren't they?
I mean, that's a good use of a... it's probably skill. Hang on. Shadow Law, probably. Give me a Shadow Law check to see if you're aware of that.
Is that for everyone to do, John, or...?
No, just Moan at the moment. He's trying to rack his brains to see if they're...
That was Amalfrida there, sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. It's Amalfrida. So you think, despite Amalfrida's skill in Shadow Law, that, you're convinced that... You know that wolves are scared of fire, and as a shepherd... You're very knowledgeable about that, but you're pretty convinced that wolves would be as well.
So she says that in her West Country accent, or I could try it, but it might be terrible. Oh, I read Pamers.
But it's fine.
Was that Pamers?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
But she says they don't like fire. I mean,
right.
I'm already massacring a Northern Irish accent. I better not offend the whole of the Southwest Country.
So free action, you basically say they don't like fire. What else do you want to do? So just a reminder, in your turn, a free action is something like, I don't know, opening a door, opening a drawer, taking something out of a pouch, something like that. That's free action. Your action is the main thing you do in the turn. So something like attacking something would be an action with a bow or a melee weapon.
Okay, so I see a
Movement,
fire
you
pit
can move
ahead.
up to-
Is there
Yep.
actually brands in there? Is there any logs burning?
Yeah, it's smouldering. It's kind of. It almost seemed that as soon as the door swung open and this thing came up, a number of torches that end of the room went out, and the fire dimmed down a lot. It was, I wouldn't say burning brightly, but it's now not a lot more than smouldering embers. And there was this sort of ghastly blast of freezing cold fetid air that came from the warg as it came in.
Okay. Just looking to see where the move is.
So let me hang on.
Speed 30 there. Is that it?
Yeah, I'll lock the tokens, and what
Yeah,
that means
the
is
middle of
you
the
can
front
drag your
main
token.
page of the character sheet.
Yeah, main page. Yeah, that's right. So your speed is 30 feet. 30 feet. So in 5e, you can move and take an action. Those are your main things you do in a turn, and take a bonus action in addition to what you've already done, like a free action.
I think you can split your movement up as well. You can move.
You can. So you don't need to all move in one go. So you can move, for example, 10 feet, attack something, and then move another 20 feet.
Or
You can
attack
also,
and
if you
move.
you can actually use your action to take basically a double move. So you wouldn't get an attack, for example, if you did that, but you can actually move up to 60 feet in the round if you wanted to do that too.
And what's Stuart's preferred weapon?
I believe it's a great.
I mean, I can see here axe, dagger, hand axe, spear.
I think it was a hand axe.
Hand axe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or it could have been a spear. Doesn't really matter. Roughly the same. So in terms of damage ability.
Well, he's got +4 to hit with an axe, but he does more damage with the actual axe compared to the rest of them.
Can you chuck the spear?
Well, I suppose
Yeah, you
thinking
can
about
throw
it,
a spear.
yeah, I suppose
Chuck the spear.
she'd grab a spear, because also thinking about this in reality, if it was a big thing going to jump you, you'd probably want a spear to be able to keep it at bay.
You can also, so if you look on the bottom of Amalfrida's sheet, she can go into Battle Fury. It's got one more use to that today. So you basically completely lose the plot doing that. You're swinging recklessly, but you basically using incredible strength to attack. So that basically means you get advantage on attack rolls, but they also get advantage on you. But you also shake off damage, so you get resistance to damage dealt against you that's bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing. So I know last time she did that. So as soon as she saw the goblins, she basically raged. And it's a bonus action to do that. So if you wanted, you could go into a Battle Fury before you started.
Yeah, I think that's what he did before. I'll try and keep it as close to what Stuart would do. So yeah, I'll go into Battle Fury if I can.
Okay, so what you do, if on your character sheet, if you expand the Battle Fury line under class by clicking the little magnifying glass, you'll see then an effect button that says advantage check, strength, etc., etc. There's loads of things there. So if you just click the effect, that'll apply it to you. That will automatically make sure all of that's applied. And then if you just check off Battle Fury, there's a single check mark next to the word, and that will then disappear. You'll have used it. There, you've unchecked the one that you had checked. Just check it twice, basically. That's it. And now that means you can't use it anymore today, but you are now in a Battle Fury. So up to you. If you can move and attack, you can throw your spear and move up to defend the others. What do you want to do?
Yeah, she's learned her lesson. She's going to stick close to Monin, so the two of them are going to advance up the right-hand side of the fire pit. But she knows he's a bit slower, so she'll only go 25 feet.
Okay, so if you just drag Amalfrida up the map to the way you want to go, you can actually drag it around corners. So rather than going across the fire pit, so I'll just show you how to practice that. If you just drag it like 15 feet up to the fire, what you'll then see is a little white square on the line that appears when you do that. So I've just cancelled that move, Steve. If you try dragging again, just a 15 foot up in front of the fire pit, like Hathis is doing now. You can actually grab the little white square and then drag it in a different direction, so you can actually use it to drag it around corners, if that makes sense. And once you've finished your move that you want to do, that's it. So I'll accept that. So you move around the fire and up to standing by the fire pit. Are you doing anything else? So as an action, you can ready an action, for example, if the warg runs up and attacks me, I will attack it.
Yeah, exactly that. So
as
she's
well.
just going to
So
stand there with the spear, sort of set the spear, waiting for the warg. If it's going to come running in and jumping and leaping, she'll be ready for it if she can be.
Okay.
And apologies everybody for taking so long on that turn.
No, it's absolutely fine. It gives us time to think.
That's fine. I remember that. So if it comes into attack, you get to do that. And the final thing you need to do, which is on your combat tracker. I'm not sure. Do you have the combat tracker open, Steve?
I don't. I'm just
combat
looking
tracker.
for it now.
Yeah, top right. You can actually turn it on and off in 5e. Top right,
Yep.
2 cross swords and a little icon. At the bottom of the combat tracker is a little down arrow, which is like, okay, next. So Hathis, you're up.
So if I want to get something from my backpack, John, is that an action, or can I do that while walking? Or
You can withdraw it as a free action if you want to do that, and like say a potion and drink it. That is more than a free action.
Yeah, I'll drink a couple of potions. No, I'm going to
get your pipe.
I'm going to get my flask of oil. Not quite surreptitiously out of my pack because it can't be that, but I'm not going to draw masses of attention to it. I'm going to get a flask of oil out, and I'm going to move over to a safe area here, but I don't want to get in the way too much. I'm going to move over to here, and I'll probably... I don't even need to tell the dog who want to get away or whatever. I think he's going to act of his own accord, so I can move it. Sorry?
I'll just move you up a little bit.
Yeah, sorry.
So you're treading on Sigmar's feet.
So I've got my flask of oil out, but I'm not 100% sure whether to throw it at the wolf. I'm probably going to ready an action if the warg comes towards us. I'll try and throw the oil on him to make him make him more flammable, rather than throw it on the floor, because the warg is pretty mobile. So yeah, that's what he'll do. He'll ready an action of if the warg comes within sort of 20-foot range, say to near the edge of the fire pit, he will try and throw the oil over the warg.
Okay.
And then next action, Rooney.
Monin.
Okay, Monin will just head on up with the axe and shield. No, Warhammer, isn't it? Warhammer and shield. Oh, sorry, I haven't moved them quite far enough. There you go. I think that's it. And he'll just try starting to. This. I thought it was a warg. This is a wolf pup. Are you? What's so scary about? See you? My God! I thought it was something to worry about. Here, wee boy. Here, boy.
Okay. End of.
I can imagine the conversation with Monin's mother. And what were his last words? Here, wee boy.
You can your action. You can ready your action to hit the wall if it comes within hitting distance. If you want.
Yeah. So a ready action basically means you're delaying something based on a trigger. So, for example, if it attacks either Amalfrida or me, I will attack it. That will actually trigger before it attacks, if you wanted to do that, a bit like Amalfrida did.
Yeah, absolutely, like an opportunity action in Rollmaster kind of thing. But
right,
do I need to do anything on the character sheet, or is it just the state of intent?
I don't think. So yeah, you can. There's little markers you can do as actions to ready or help. But I'll just remember that's fine. All right. The warg growls with a massive howl, leaps up to attack you. So that triggers Amalfrida first, and then Monin's actions. So if Amalfrida wants to attack it, so to target it, Steve, it's the same as Rollmaster, to control and click, basically. That's it. And then just click on the to hit dice. I think it's a D20.
Yeah, so that's the... I see it, okay.
The hand axe, yeah, it's the sword one.
Nice.
Hey, well, nice shot. That hits. Do some damage.
And I just click the damage button, presumably.
Yeah. And that adds, so your raging or battle fury adds the damage you normally do as well with that. It growls at you, and also moaning. You get an attack too. If you just target it with moaning and attack.
Cool.
And moaning hits too.
Okay.
Nice. Why did you get minus?
No, I think that's his way of saying equals. So D8
Equals. That's an
plus
equals.
3 equals
yeah,
5.
right.
That confused me last session.
Okay.
And lastly, Hathis did say if it came by the fire pit, he would try and throw his oil on it as well.
Yeah.
So if he
So
can.
you get target it and go. I think have you got a thrown weapon?
I have got a thrown dagger, so
Yeah, just do the
let's see
thrown
if I
part
can
of
do
that.
this. No, that's not what I want to do. Oh, come on.
Come on, Chris, you can't use a thrown as a weapon.
You are targeting it now.
I am. Yes. Okay. So actions. Dagger thrown. So.
Oh, it hits the floor next to it, and it just to the right. Skitters along it.
Curses.
Okay, evens it will attack Amalfrida. Odds it will attack
Both of you.
Monin. It's an even.
Remember, I was taunting it.
So
It's whistling, saying, "Here, boy."
targets Amalfrida and lunges forward with its huge jaws to attack her.
I've got
This
that
is
protection thing, remember, so I think there's a disadvantage.
Yeah. Only so if it attacks, I think. Can you just read that again, Steve? The exact rules for that.
So it's something like if I'm standing beside somebody, they're at a
With a shield.
disadvantage because I've got the shield.
Yeah, so you can apply disadvantage. So it missed anyway, but that's great. So basically, you can use one reaction. That's the other thing you can do each round, Steve. So you can only do that once per round, but that is extremely helpful fighting right next to her. Anyway, that missed. But suddenly around from the other side of the door emerges a small goblin. Looks like one of the very similar to one of the ones that attacked you earlier. And this comes running in beside and just looks like it's cowardly going behind the back of the Greymuzzle Hob. Doesn't do anything else that round. And Sigmar, your action.
It is I. I go to shoot the Greymuzzle Hob. So, blah, 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 yeah. So basically, I'll get sneak attack on it because the allies of mine within 5 feet. If I hit it, I'll do extra damage. How do you do it? You double click on it.
So if you control click to target it, so click on your.
Yeah, but I've got this special damage ability. Basically, in order to do that.
Oh, that's right. You say don't target it, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, so just roll your to hit, and we'll see if it helps.
Oh well.
That definitely missed.
I decided to roll a higher number.
So, what happens with your arrow?
Oh,
You can describe that.
I'm taking a bead on the wolf. I'm about to fire the most incredible shot you've ever seen, and then this goblin runs in and puts my aim off. So, yeah. Are these tables and chairs actually in the room, or are they just on the background?
So those aren't tables and chairs, actually. They're pillars.
Okay.
So they've got a torch in a bracket. So what happened is this thing came in. Either it was the gust of very icy wind, or it's some sort of eldritch power from the warg. Not eldritch in Middle Earth, but some sort of strange power from the warg. But most of the torches up that end went out. Only one's lit are just to the right of your dog, Juan. And the fire's dimmed down a lot. So... yeah,
okay, so
they're not furniture.
What's the short range of a short bow?
Oh, it's good
It's
distance.
up to about 80
68,
feet. Yeah, I think you're fine.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to mutter something unpleasant about goblins under my breath, and then move to behind this pillar, ready for my next shot.
Nice. So Juan moved, as you saw, moved back.
Yeah, absolutely fine. He's just cowering at the back.
There, Hathis. Amalfrida, your action. Before you do anything, Amalfrida, could you? In fact, I will give us you to save. I mean, this thing is scary, but you didn't realize just how damn scary this thing is. The stench on it, you can smell its decaying meat on its breath, and its eyes actually aren't just reflecting firelight, they do appear to be glowing. There's a horrible sense of fear coming down your spine now. Could you give me a wisdom saving throw?
Sure.
You almost piss yourself with fear, and unfortunately that fear just incapacitates you for you just can't act. You're just petrified, just standing there shaking in your boots.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just attack. I think he's got a thrown dagger. He wouldn't jump into to do anything else, but he will throw that at it. But that misses wildly. He backs off a little bit before he throws it and gets a fire in between it, and the wolf and obviously trying to avoid Amalfrida, throws and misses wildly with that. Monin, could you give me a wisdom save? You're fine. Tough old dwarves.
Excellent. Right, try and hit it again. So I think I've actually targeted this time, so hopefully it should be...
Yeah, it's still targeted, yeah. That's a hit, another one. Thank goodness for Monin. Oh, nice.
And I'll stay beside her. I'm trying to shield her with the shield.
I'll get your boots wet.
Okay.
Here we boy.
Growls, and it still attacks Amalfrida, which is bad. Bad for Amalfrida. And
so if it attacks Monin, would it get disadvantage? It's only if it attacks Amalfrida it gets disadvantage, isn't it?
It does. If you want to apply that. So it appears to be attacking Amalfrida. You can give it... Apply that effect, Steve.
Apply the effect.
You expand it. Yeah, so I think... Let me just check it. I think you just can grab it and drag it. Looks like Chris has lost all internet. He's left Fancy Ground as well.
Okay, so where am I looking? Which tab?
This is Fighting Style Protection. The effect... drag that effect to the wolf. So if you literally left click on the effect button or that little tab and then drag it over to Greymuzzle Hob and drop it, it will apply that effect to... I think you can do it on the combat tracker or on the map, and it will apply that effect. So it will get disadvantage on the
not
next
sure I'm looking.
So
okay,
on your character sheet,
effects, yeah.
Under on the actions tab, if you expand Fighting Style Protection by clicking the little magnifying glass, it's then got... In fact, actually, I don't think it has one. You've then got a little effect icon.
Oh, hang on, sorry. All I can see was
man.
fighting styles. I see what you mean.
Yeah, so drag that and drop it on Greymuzzle Hob. Yep, that's done it. Sorry, yeah, it's done it twice. That should be fine. And so it will be attacking you. It's looking like it's bolstered by this goblin behind it, but it is still attacking Amalfrida. Good luck, Amalfrida, especially as you're incapacitated, meaning can't defend yourself. So unfortunately, her lack of movement and the assistance from the goblin behind him meant that it cancelled out your ability to attack. It batted it aside and digs its teeth right into Amalfrida. And that hurts a lot. Fortunately, she manages to not get knocked off her feet, but she's taken some serious wounds there. Then the goblin sneaks around the side and targets you, Monin. And he's got this sort of like rusty-looking bent sword he's attacking you with, which he misses completely. Well, not completely. It chinks off your vambrace and scores down your arm. Sigmar, you're up next.
So I've got one of my abilities is Dark Foreboding, where it says, for instance, I can tell whether an orc band is an isolated raiding party or part of a larger force, that kind of thing, or whether a nearby ruin is steeped in shadow.
Right.
So I've got a kind of sixth sense when in the presence of shadow. Is that telling me anything at the moment?
Yeah, absolutely. That the warg is probably the scariest thing you've ever seen, and you've seen some pretty scary things in your time in Escroft in the past. So muggings and beatings and stuff like that. But this is pure evil.
Does it seem like it's kind of driven by the goblin, or the goblin just happens to be with it?
Or you would probably estimate the other way around.
In that case, I will shoot the most dangerous thing that I can see, which is... Yeah, I'm going to shoot the wolf. Attempt to, anyway.
Okay.
Oh, come on.
Oh, 2 bad rolls in a row.
Who sold me these arrows?
They're warped.
Yeah.
So Huan won't do anything. Amalfrida, you are no longer... sorry, your incapacity should have come off. Hang on a second.
Does she need to roll wisdom again? Save.
Yeah, wisdom save because you're still within 10 feet. Still scared. Next up is Hathis. Hathis will move up
Stop.
and heal Amalfrida. So get some kind of poultice out of his pack. I'm not quite sure how to describe healing in Middle Earth because it's not meant to be that magical. And heals the savage wound in her arm. And then steps back another 10 feet. Monin, you're next to act.
Yeah, so how badly hurt does the warg look at the moment? Does it seem to be slowing in any way? Does it seem to be incorporeal in any way or anything like that?
These are hitting home, your shots, but doesn't appear to be that badly wounded. The little green... there's little icons. If you zoom right in on that part of the combat, Steve, you can see the pale green icon is about the best gauge you've got. So if you look at yours and Amalfrida's and the goblins, they're all dark green, which is as healthy as you can get. Greymuzzle Hob, it goes between that, then it will eventually go yellow, and then like an orange, and then a dark red when it's really badly injured. So at the moment, it doesn't look that badly injured.
Okay, so he's going to just take tact for a second and then just quickly reverse
Wisdom
his
saving
stroke.
throw before you do anything else.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I'm going to attack the small goblin. Does still need to do a saving throw?
Yeah, you're just being in the proximity of this massive great thing is scary enough. You're fine with that. And so de-target the wolf and then target the goblin. You've done that. Great. Good luck.
Yeah.
That missed. Little sneaky bastard outdid it.
Okay, stay where I am. So, Hobster.
Okay. The massive warg says, I fucking hate dwarves. Because it's obviously been damaged by you much more than anything else recently, and lunges at you with an attack, and absolutely misses completely. Clangs off your armor, chips a tooth. It looks like even on that, nothing else happened at all. Little goblin targets you and tries to hit, but it's bent old sword. Misses absolutely completely. And Sigmar, you're next to act.
Come on, Sigmar, if you can't hit a wolf the size of a barn, you can't call yourself a bowman.
I'm back.
Oh,
For goodness sake. That's the highest of a 3 so far.
three,
Hey,
and a
welcome.
2. That's it. I'm going to become a plumber.
The only solution there, Sigmar, is to change your dice colour.
It's weird.
The dice gods don't like purple.
Yeah, I've gone for a 1980s look this time.
So next up is Amalfrida. You are no longer incapacitated with fear, but you do need another fear saving throw. You are not afraid right now.
Right, okay.
Which is positive.
Yep, so who's she targeted? Targeted, she has got the same target. Okay, it's cool. So spear again.
Yeah. That hits. Nice. Come on. Ooh, nicely done. Oh, you've got him into a yellow zone. That's good. Anything else she's doing?
No, she's going to stay where she is at the moment and just keep going.
Okay. Hathor, so your oil mist, when the incident went down for you, all you did was basically moved up a little bit, threw a dagger. The next round, Amalfrida got injured quite badly and was basically incapacitated by fear, and you went up and healed her. So you are standing like 15 feet back from her right now. It looks like you're not.
I'm still waiting for everything to load, but yeah, I'm getting there.
You can describe it if you want to tell us what you want to do. You can do. You've no longer got your only dagger. You threw that at it and it missed wildly. You're like bricking yourself, basically.
I was changed my dice back to their fetching orange colour. Oh well, that'll do. That's important stuff done. Please share the map with me again, please, John.
Yeah, sure.
You also notice that the wall behind us is peppered with my arrows.
Yeah.
And you've become a plumber.
It's the ceiling above you is peppered with your arrows. It was so bad. So.
Okay, so right. Ooh, bloody hell. You haven't killed it yet then?
Oh no, it's pretty big and mean.
Emboldened by his impact quite literally on goblins last time, he's going to run up to there, and then I've healed Amalfrida, haven't I?
Yeah, so at the moment you're targeting Amalfrida.
So I'm going to try and smack the goblin to take him out of the equation and to give a morale boost to the party of another dead creature. Actions. Staff, this is, yeah?
Oh, you hit it. Goblin Slayer. Brother Hathus.
Go away, vermin. And then with a little bit of move, I can move back again, can't I? Oh, maybe I don't want to do that.
You're getting an attack of opportunity.
Yeah, I won't do that then.
Hob,
I'll hope that Greymuzzle won't worry about me. He'd be more worried about the armoured, pointy people next to him. Good.
Okay, so you get basically a thumping club with an overhand swing with your staff.
Straight
and then
head.
You see the true fear caused by this massive great thing as you kind of come around that pillar.
Yeah.
Boy, is it big. It is like above your head high. It can reach down and bite you. Monin, you are next up. That was extremely useful. So Greymuzzle Hob fights. Oh dear, that's not good.
That was a 1 as well.
Very effectively.
Oh, do we get
funny? I haven't got. It's an automatic miss. I'm not using fumbles right now. I'll give it a try without them for a little while. Okay. Anything else? No. 1, 2, Amalfrida, 3, 4, Monin, 5, 6, Hathors.
Leave me alone.
Luckily for you all, it's attacking Monin. Not luckily for Monin, but Monin's definitely the best armoured out of all of you. Obviously, really hates dwarves.
They took my pig.
Oh, scores a hit on you, Monin. Jaws come crunching in.
Oh
my goodness.
Oh my god.
That. It grabs you a bit by the neck, shakes you, and that hurt a lot.
Absolutely.
But fortunately, you managed to brace your legs as it's trying to push you over, and you managed to stay on your feet. Wow. Sigmar.
Get your filthy jaws off him, you sport of darkness.
A
Oh,
4.
come on.
Right, Neil, just dial out and dial back in. You obviously your computer's broken. Or something.
I emoted my dice to an ugly brown as well.
Yeah, it's not the ugly brown that did it. Maybe it's something else. That's terrible. You haven't got any inspiration, have you? You could have just used for changing a roll. So just hit next actor, bottom of the combat tracker. You've got it open.
Yeah,
So your
Juan's-
dog, you can try and control it if you want. It's cowering at the back of the room at the
No,
moment.
its safest place for him is away from this at the moment.
Amalfrida, your action.
Okay.
Wisdom save to start with. Amalfrida shits herself again.
Oh, no.
Oh, God. No! Don't leave me
Hate
up
this.
there.
Wisdom save. Your wisdom's
Wisdom
better
save?
than hers. Yeah.
Yeah, but even so, I'm not really built for this, so hang on. My wisdom save.
Right-hand side of your front sheet. Yeah, you're absolutely
24?
fine. You brace
You
yourself
don't
for a...
scare me. Well, you do, but...
You can't heal Monin right now.
No, I'm all out of
What's that
healing.
effect?
It's only a one shot. I can either defend, which is a sensible thing, or I can try and hit it, which I think is overreaching myself. So I'm going to defend.
Okay. Not a fighter.
No, definitely not. I don't mind diluting the attacks a bit, but I'm going to switch to all-out defense, which I've never done before, so I'm not quite sure the mechanic. I don't think I need to do anything.
Let me see. I don't think I've got anything. I need to give you those effects. Hang on a second. I think I can drag those to your character.
Maybe is it dodge then, or is it defend? No.
So it's dodge that you're using.
Yeah.
So basically, any attack on you would be a disadvantage for the
Yep.
as you're dodging out of the way. All right, no worries.
Yes.
Monin, you are.
Yes.
So the other option you've got, by the way,
Second
is
wind.
disengage. If you wanted to back off, you can do that without an
No,
attack of
I'll-
opportunity. If you disengage.
Right now, he's feeling a bit brave after tonking the goblin, so he knows he's diluting the options. The wolf, if it gets, he may well
right.
change his mind shortly.
So you can second wind as a bonus action, Steve, which means you can still attack. So if you just heal yourself,
Good man.
that's essential.
Bing.
And then, so how does Monin feel after just being bitten by a slavering great ward?
Oh, is that the wee puppy bird? Oh, come on then. Oh, he wants to play.
And I now need a wisdom saving throw as the puppy's red eyes bore into you.
That's
And
right.
you're still okay. Oh, but you missed with your axe. And Hob, who does he attack this time? He still likes the smell of dwarf.
Juicy dwarf.
So one thing you can do, Hathis, rather than defend, is help another creature, which will basically mean that would mean Monin, or depending on who you're helping, gets advantage on their attack. But as you're kind of prodding and trying to distract Greymuzzle Hob, so you may not be aware of that. You can do that.
But yeah, no, I'll stick with the defense now. But maybe next turn, depending on how this all goes.
Just went for the same attack on your Monin, but grazed off your armor. This time, I'm confident that Sigmar's lost all of his bent arrows, and he's now going to pull a straight one out of the
He's
quiver.
got the bow the right way round.
Come on. This is my favourite arrow. It's on myself.
Shoots the dwarf. Yes.
Yes!
Is it a hit?
And now, hang on, let me see if that hits armor class.
Go on, make it a hit no matter what. I don't care if it's got armor class 25.
Yes, it hits.
Yes.
Yes.
So what do I do? So I drag that onto the target in the combat tracker, apparently.
Yep.
And then roll damage twice. How do you do the damage?
So you roll the damage die, take the highest, is that right?
That's once, twice. Yeah.
Go for the
so
second
Okay,
one.
so
Neil.
drag these 7 over.
Okay, but I also get
I did another
Sneak attack.
d6.
Another D6.
Yeah, so just roll a D6. Whoa, nice. I'll just apply that manually. Ooh.
Yes, Sigma.
Finally, what did that arrow look like? That's a bit better.
Oh, that was just covered in kisses, basically.
Devastating kiss arrow.
Right. Next actor is Amalfrida. So
she's
no longer incapacitated. Wisdom save. Come on, Amalfrida. Oh, no. Bricks herself again. Amalfrida's not liking Wolfie.
Right, I will try and help Moanin. You can lend your aid.
Describe how you're helping.
Yeah, I need to read what you take the help action. Okay, I'm going to try and distract the wolf with sort of fake pokes and prods with my staff, not to try and damage it, but just to distract it, catch the corner of its eye, and just sort of put it off its game, so he doesn't realise when Moanin's about to tonk him.
Okay,
how's that?
Perfect. Right, Moanin. You're feeling like Greymuzzle's being a bit distracted. Click advantage at the bottom.
Shit yourself instead.
Oh, that's.
First off, unfortunately,
I didn't do that. I should have done that as well, shouldn't I?
You should have done that. Sorry.
So let me do that save as well. So that is wisdom save.
You're okay. Unfortunately,
I'm poking and prodding the wolf and the. Oh God! Both the other two are incapacitated, and I'm poking and prodding it.
So, Hathus, you notice that Moanin gets a gob of bloody spittle across his face, and he's kind of wiping it from his eyes. You can see fear in them for the first time in Moanin's face.
Come on,
Sigma, you are back up. Luckily, not everyone is incapacitated, which means Hathus could still give you.
You've just skipped over the wolf, John. The warg? Did you mean to?
I did not mean to do that.
I know I shouldn't say that, but I feel a bit honour bound that he gets a shot too.
That's very good of you. Unfortunately, Moanin can't protect Amalfrida, who's trying to bite at this time. It sees the fear in the dwarf's eyes and doesn't care for him anymore.
22. Ooh. What do you reckon?
Takes a massive chunk out of Amalfrida's shoulder.
Ow.
And he would have saved her. Doesn't knock her down. She's built of tougher stuff. Yeah. She only took half that damage, which was quite fortunate. She's raging. Sigma!
Come on. Just like the last
one. Save the day, Sigma. No! Amalfrida, you are trying to gird your loins again.
No.
And unable to. Hathus, gird your loins again. Wisdom save.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
You're okay.
Yeah.
What are you trying to do?
Or do I want to try and distract it so that if the dwarf does all right, then he can attack it? Do I want to try and dodge so if it attacks me, I might survive? Put your money in Moanin. I'm going to help Moanin again by doing more of my annoying prods of the warg's muzzle, and I'm poking him in the ear with my staff to try and put him off, distract and create an opening for Moanin to take advantage of.
Okay, Moanin, good luck with your
Do not.
Yes, you're okay.
Right now, finish it.
Right, so how do I make it go advantage? Where's that?
So the little right at the bottom of the screen there's a bunch of modifiers. Click ADV, and it will go red and then reddish, and then roll to hit, and it will automatically apply it.
20.
Oh, critical! Nicely done. That worked well. And you dropped a 3. Perfect use.
There you go.
So, Moanin, describe that. You were all nearly at death's door there.
Well, hang on. How was Hathus helping me?
I was poking the wolf to distract it to create an opening, so that when his eyes were on me or when I irritated him enough, you could dart in and just tonk him.
Okay. That was a.
That was a final fanfare.
Okay, so as Hathus pokes it just momentarily takes its eye off Moanin and looks towards the brother, and that's just enough for him to bring his warhammer down and just crack it just on the side of the skull, which knocks it down to the side, which then allows all three of us to just finish it off.
And you are all exhausted after that. You kind of collapse. The dog slumps down, bloody spittle drooling out across the floor, and you can tell it's above its right eye socket. It's all caved in from your warhammer. It will not be troubling the villagers again.
Hurrah!
Congratulations, you are out of combat, and the sounds of scuffles and stuff outside have stopped. So, by the sound of things, there may have been more than a goblin that came in with them. But there are no sounds of combat or anything going on outside, and you survived. After about 30 seconds, Gailavira and one of the younger men kind of poke their head around the corner of the doorway and look in. Looks like they're fearing the worst. Cheer up dramatically as they see you all. And the fire is basically looks like it's rekindling a little bit as well. And within minutes, all of the villagers are there. There is even a little keg of ale that's been brought out.
Another one.
They're over the moon. And there is, throughout most of the rest of the evening, there's just they build a pyre outside of wood. They burn the corpse of there's two other goblins were killed outside, and luckily there's an injury to a villager, but no one was killed. And they have joyfully recounting tales of daring do and heroism, and are incredibly thankful that you're dispatching the wolf. And Gailavira says to you all, very formally actually, while all of the villagers are listening, that Rowanhold would always be a welcome avenue for you in western Mirkwood near the road. You would be welcome at any time and get a warm hearth, and they thank you profusely again and again. All of the villagers do the same thing. So they are very thankful, and you all go to bed pretty happy. They did ask for advice on strengthening maybe their defences. Their biggest threat's gone, obviously, but it doesn't look that well defended as a place at the moment. So perhaps you could look to do that in the morrow. Yep. But right now you're got everything you need to get to bed and get to sleep.
Well, they're all in a good mood. I'm going to ask one of them. I don't suppose anyone of you has a spare short bow. Mine seems to be faulty.
One of the younger ladies is asked to go back to Gailavira's house and comes back with another short bow. It looks well worn, serviceable. And she said, "Well, this was my son's, but I can't fire it. You're welcome to use this, and if we can keep your one, I hope it'll help you."
Sure. Make sure you aim slightly about 90 degrees off. You might
pulls a bit to
All right. I think I get you.
Good stuff. We've defeated the Walk Menace.
The next day, as they learn that you're wishing to kind of continue on your journey still, they ask for a little bit of advice. Really, they know that you're not going to be labouring for them, but what do you say to them about their defences and things?
What, other than move elsewhere?
I'll leave that to Monin, who's probably got more martial expertise. I'm quite happy to chip it. I guess we need to wander around and just look at what they've got, really, don't we? Have they got an external wall? Is it in good condition? Have they got lookout towers? Have they got, are they maintaining walls? Is there a sort of vegetation cleared away from around the walls so you can actually see people and have a bit of a firing zone?
All of this sounds like rocket science to them at the moment. None of this is looking like they've got anything.
Oh God!
I'll turn the uplifting music off. None of this is looking like that. This is something they'd have worked out themselves. So they basically make some notes. Right, we need to build stuff up. We need to get.
Monin's advice is, you see all this wood, replace it with stone. Build it very, very high, and you'll have no
20 foot thick at the base. Yeah. They look a bit worried about that.
Yeah.
All right, stone.
That's an
Get rid of
optional upgrade.
stuff.
No, what you're asking
Thank
to do,
you.
Gailavira, is train all your people. Replace the warriors you lost.
Thank you, and thank you for the advice. They look like they've got some
Pick
meager
up some
gifts,
snares.
but they're still making notes. They get some meager gifts from all of the townsfolk, and they're incredibly thankful to you. They basically give you about probably no more than 3 or 4 days rations each. Share some with the dwarves as well, who were basking in your glory. They look slightly in awe of you, having seen the stoic defence of them and the 2 small kids in the hall, and they were leading the charge with the stories last night. And by about early afternoon, you guys are ready to set out again. So, anything you want to do in Rowanhold before you leave?
Well, presumably we had at least a short rest, if not a long rest, last night after killing the wolf.
You do get a long rest. Let me just sort that out for you.
Because that'll have an impact on Amalfrida, and then presumably some people are injured. Could they have?
So Amalfrida gains back a healing dice. You get 1 back a day. So that would mean you can. Oh wow, yeah. Amalfrida's absolutely fine. Moaning could reuse his as well if he wants.
Oh, nice rolls, guys.
Yeah, nicely done. You're fine. So you guys are all okay, and they're pretty much feeling pretty good with yourselves. First real serious threat you guys have faced, and came through it with flying colours.
Before we
Are there any
set off,
arrows I can fly off them?
You can try and retrieve the ones you've got. So you've got in an enclosed space, you've got 1 in 6 chance of them being broken, and you can retrieve your dagger, Chris, through.
okay, definitely retrieve that.
So just roll however many arrows you threw. If you roll a 1, you don't retrieve it. Otherwise, you retrieve it. They're not hunters, to be honest. They're more farmers. They've got cows and chickens and things, and sheep.
So it's basically 1 is broken, is it? Oh,
Yeah. So you lost. If you fired 8, you regained 6.
That's including the fight in earlier.
Okay.
I still don't recall us having a decent conversation about the elf path through Mirkwood, whether they would advise using it or caution against it. We've had conflicting stories, and hopefully these people will be more in contact with travellers or know more about whether the elf path is considered safe or not.
Yeah, the conclusion pretty much seems to be we wouldn't want to travel through Mirkwood even on the elf path or anywhere else, but you guys look like you can handle yourself, so you'll probably be okay. That was the upshot of it, maybe.
Yeah, now the warg's gone.
You also, before you leave, I will award you some experience from your efforts over the last couple of days, and it's not insignificant.
Whoa.
I know it's a long shot, but do they have a pony for sale?
Wow. I gave you a 10% chance of having a pony for sale, and they have a pony. We have an old. He's a pony, but he's pretty old, and we use him for ploughing still. He's really important to us. Do you really need him?
No, it's all right. Well, I'll get
we'll
one
try somewhere
eventually.
else.
I wouldn't take your only one.
I look very relieved at that. And the younger guys didn't look like they were looking forward to digging around.
Oh, we're nearly
All right.
up to the next level. We're 31 XP's off.
Oh, exciting.
269 versus 300.
Guys, nice job. So you set out on your way again.
Have we just spent time in a sanctuary, John?
No, but you have opened the sanctuary. So
Okay.
your first visit there, you don't. So what I'll do, if you want, I can share Rowanhold as a location for you, which I'll do now. It's got a bit of a description, if I can find it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
This is getting me horny.
You're not Welsh. I thought you were Irish. Can you see Rowanhold? You should be able to
Yes.
see that as like a pop-up now. So that'll give you a little bit of information on Rowanhold.
Population 20.
It's very, very small, but it is now a sanctuary for you.